Hi guys, welcome to this episode. Today I'm going to be talking about ISO, what is ISO and how you control your ISO. So essentially switch your camera on. So switch your camera on. There you go, I've switched it on. And your ISO is located, so I'm in at the moment manual mode. So M for manual mode. And your ISO is basically this thing here. So to control it, you just click on this Q button on a Canon camera and you take it up to your ISO and you click on your ISO, and then you can increase and decrease your ISO. Basically, if you're shooting like in really good light outdoors where there's a lot of sort of natural light coming in, my advice is just leave it on auto or 100. The lower the ISO number, the better sort of sensitivity the camera has to light. So you don't necessarily need to put it on a high ISO because you've got loads of natural light that's floating around in the air, so you don't need to do that. However, if you are in a studio environment and you are shooting indoors with fluorescent lighting or tungsten lighting or studio lighting or lamps and all those sort of things, then you might want to consider about bumping up your ISO. The reason why I say that is because then the camera has a lot more sensitivity towards the light, and you can literally just click on this Q button, set, and then there's a dial at the top, which is that one there, and just pull it across, and that will allow you to reduce or increase your ISO. So you might want to increase it to 800, maybe 1600. Some of the newer cameras go right up to 200 odd thousand ISO because of low lit environments. I know DSLRs do the same, so you really want to consider about playing around with your ISO. Just bear in mind that if you're shooting out indoors in low light environments, that there's going to be you know, a little bit of graininess in your film or your footage, and that will definitely be there. But you have to also control your aperture and shutter in order to get the right continuity and balance of your ISO. So I would suggest you sort of do some test shots of whatever you're doing. So select your ISO and just take a few like at 200, 400, 600 and 800 and maybe 600, the same shot over a number of times just to see which image has the least graininess. So for example, if you take a picture at 1600, now I've got a timer on here from my last tutorial, so I'm just going to let that play through. So I'm just taking this picture at the moment. There we go. So that picture's taken. Now I've just taken that picture. Now if I zoom into that picture by clicking on here, I can clearly see whether the picture's grainy. So this button here and then this button here allows me to zoom in, and then you can sort of see how grainy your image is. So I would strongly suggest when you are taking your pictures and you're using your ISO, is just take a couple of pictures with different ISO ranges to see which is going to be the best potential picture for you. ISO is very important. It works in relation to your shutter and your aperture, so it's really important that you configure it correctly for the specific environment that you're in. But as a rule, if you're indoors, you want to take it up to 648 plus, and if you're outdoors, maybe under 300. If it's really sunny, for example, and it's a really sunny day, then you might want to just put it on auto or 100. If it's a bit cloudy, you might want to put it to maybe 200 to 400 as a given rule, just to sort of make sure that there's a bit of sensitivity towards the environment that the camera has. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching. This video was about how to control your ISO on a camera. Any questions, please do post. I'm happy to respond to anything that you may have. Appreciate all the likes for my videos, and please subscribe and press the bell button as well. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.